are you? And welcome to yet another exciting episode of Churchill Show. We're so glad you could join us today. Na asante sana for your comments and feedback. We really do appreciate. This is your show. Hizo comments, that's what exactly makes this show. Kabla tuendelee, we'd like to send our condolences, rambirambi zetu kwa ndugu zetu wa Tanzania kwa kumpoteza rais wenu John Pombe Magufuli. Pokeeni pole zetu kutoka familia nzima hapa ya Churchill Show. Tunasema pole sana na Mungu awape nguvu katika hali hii ngumu. Kwa hivyo, for our brothers and sisters in Tanzania, pole sana. May God give you strength. Now, today's show is another special one. Asante sana for requesting this gentleman. Maze tumepata feedback na comment, wanauliza Churchill ule jamaa alienda wapi? MC wako ule alikuwa anasema. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Churchill Show. This is the guy who started from Eastleigh. Every event you talk in Kenya, you have to talk about this man. That's how big he is. No wonder his name is that big. This is the amazing story of the big man himself, Thomas Kwaka, aka Big Ted, the president's MC. Come along with me.
Ametoka shule juzi. Just sit. Okay, so hi. No. Very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Ted.
Namna gani?
Salama sana.
Dambuki nimengojea hii siku sana. You know, baka nikauliza yani, did you receive a lot of comments, people asking for me?
Yeah.
That was me. It was me asking for me.
Watu walikuwa wakiuliza Big Ted anakuja.
Huyo ni mimi nauliza leo na hii jina nageuza majina. Alafu pia nilitumia jina za Wakamba sana. Ndio watu wasijue ni mimi. Yeah, but it's always a pleasure to sit down and just tell my story.
Yeah, awesome.
I used to be very shy about telling my story. Yeah. But right now I'm living in purpose.
Yes.
And I'm trying my best to tell my story, the painful parts, the happy parts, so that somebody out there can just get encouraged and feel that there's hope.
Yeah.
You know, they can go to the next level.
Kuna maisha.
Yes.
First of all, I have to say unakapoa sana.
Asante sana.
Maze luku.
Look, pamba lazima.
Hebu niambie mjue hii luku mwanzo kabla
utuambie juu ya. So this look is courtesy of Liru Designs. Ruth out there. Yeah. Atakutengenezea kitu. She makes an amazing outfit.
Hebu niambie story ya family mwanzo.
Wow. Sasa mimi I'm a bishop's son. My name is Thomas Kwaka. Hizo ndo jina za M-Pesa.
Yeah.
So if you send me M-Pesa right now hapo 0722 hapo hivyo chini utanipata. Thomas Kwaka aka Big Ted. Now the Big Ted came about because when I left high school I was an apprentice sound engineer.
Yeah.
For Peter Dera, Ted Josiah, Sally Oyugi and Esther Murakinyo. Yeah. And they had a group called Heart. What happened is because there was Ted Josiah,
yes,
and then there was me, every time there was a confusion. Yeah. So Reverend Dr. Peter Dera says, Kwanzia leo, utakuwa Big Ted. Yeah. And that's how I took up the name Big Ted, and it stuck on. There are lots of people who, whenever I send them my official names, hawajui ni nani. Like, who is this?
Who's Kwaka?
Where is the church? Bona huko hapo ndani.
Thomas.
Yes, so mimi ni mseto wa mtaani. Started from zero. It's a bit hard for people to understand that or to believe it, but it's still okay. My dad is also a professional auditor. He runs one of the biggest audit firms, his own audit firm, one of the biggest in East and Central Africa. Na anapenda vitabu sana.
Unapenda vitabu.
Sana.
So are you the firstborn?
No way. Yeah. I'm number 3. We're 5. Yeah. I'm the third born. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Warefu kama wewe?
My dad is very tall. My dad is my height.
Yes.
And my dad is very light.
Yeah.
Unajua sasa hapo ndio. That's why Mungu akikupatia mtu anafanya blending. Sasa dark na ndio pia yani watoto wakitokea. You know.
Ikuwe chocolate.
Tunasaidia pia. You know.
So you have 3 brothers?
I have 2 brothers.
2 brothers.
And I have 2 sisters.
Yes.
I have an elder sister, elder brother, and a younger brother, younger sister.
Yeah.
Nilizaliwa Isili.
Yeah.
Tukaenda place inaitwa Roundabout, Kariobangi huko.
Yeah.
Tukaishi huko, alafu tukarudi Isili. Alafu budangu aka make it. Tukatoka tukaenda kuishi Buru. Buru phase 3. So nimegrow up Buru my whole life.
Yeah.
Worked there, started school there.
Yeah.
I was in Buru 1 primary school.
Buru Mambao.
Buru 1.
Buru 1.
Buru Mambao ile tukwenda hapo kuangalia madem kwa fence. Shule ilikuwa ya mbao. But I was in Buru 1. Huko chini phase 1. Class 8 ikakam. Tukapata watu wamemaliza marks. But nilienda shule nyingine. I was in Aga Khan Academy and then I went to Nairobi School.
Wow. Do you remember your school motto still?
For Nairobi School?
Yeah.
To the uttermost.
To the uttermost.
Yes. Yenu? Shule yake na hawa school motto ilizimika.
Hakuna motto. High school.
Hakuna motto. Yes.
Bado iko.
Yes.
So how's it in Nairobi School?
Nairobi School was amazing, and it was actually a culture shock.
Yes.
For me. Now, the first place I ever saw a swimming pool.
Yes.
Was at the Roland Scouts camp. I was a scout tukiwa primo. Na niliruka kwa maji, nikifikiri swimming tu ni unaeka mkono. Ndani ya boss nilikunywa I think half the pool. So mpaka leo sijui kuogelea. I don't know how to swim.
You don't know how to swim?
I don't know.
Up until today?
Naogopa tu kuja kwa maji na unaona kama ni story. Whenever I'm told, oh, let's go for holidays, sijui wapi, sijui juu ya maji, siwezi enda. Dambuki siwezi enda. So anyway, in Nairobi School, it was a culture shock because I found people from everywhere.
Yeah.
Watu wote wale ulifundishwa primo.
Yeah.
Uliwapata huko Sabaot, sijui Waturukana, sijui wanani. Unashangaa ni nani? Kuna jamaa, we were in Form 1, the guy had a family. He had 5 kids in Form 1. Imagine wewe ni mtu aina gani?
Alikuwa ametoka wapi Samburu?
Turukana huko.
Turukana,
But also it shaped my character.
Yeah.
Because it was a military school, so everything was being done military-wise. How you dress, how you make your clothes, how everything around you was done that way. So it instilled some greatness in me. Alafu unajua pia, mimi nikiwa chuo, mwaga genius lakini sipendagi kuchop. So Churchill, unajua sasa ile results zimekam, zimebandikwa kwa ile board. Wewe ulikuwa unaangalia?
Nilikuwa naangalia grades.
Sasa Churchill, unaanza juu kwa nini na unajua huko? Anzia chini. Kila mtu angalie level yake. Unaanzia chini ukikuja, kwa sababu unajua unachezea hapa tu, hapa. So nikamaliza.
Sawa, Nairobi School.
Nairobi School.
You're not part of the entertainment.
No, I was everything. So the first day I got to Nairobi School. Yes. Nikapata kuna rugby match because rugby was like a religion there. Immediately, cheerleader. Apachia. In fact, many guys who were with in high school, wakiniona sahi au na ni kama ni kama hiyo character haiwezi because nilikuwa cheering squad. Yes. Hata nina wimbo. So the guys, my second name is Kwaka. So kuna wimbo ya Steel Pulse. Inaitwa We Are The Best. So ni dush Kwaka. Whenever they run off their mouth, whenever they say we are the best, when we say we are the best, they don't know what you're talking about. Go home, we are the best, we are the best. Sasa hiyo ndio ilikuwa wimbo yangu sasa.
That is a kingdom.
Sasa hiyo ilikuwa kazi yangu. Cheering squad nini. I enjoyed that a lot and just the whole vibe of being able to psych up people to things. But pia mtaani tukigrow up, mimi nilikuwa ule boy wa mtaa wa kupanga mavitu. Safari Rally was very big then. Yes. So tulikuwa tunajenga safo na hizi makaratasi za embassy. Yes. Za sigara. Yes. Ule kama mapekele hapo mnapeleka mtaani huko.
Sasa hapa ni Buru.
Sasa like siku hizo hapakuwa na anything between Buru na airport. Yes. It was a forest. Yes. Ilikuwa in fact phase 3 tukishi phase 3. From phase 3 yote ilikuwa kichaka. Hata kuna barabara. Kunaenda place inaitwa Mabata. Mabata is somewhere in Kariobangi South huko chini. Na sasa huko ukiingia Mabata, there were a lot of ducks and geese in that thing. Ukiingia Mabata, vitu mbili utapata, nyoka na leech. Okay, si hatukuwa najua zinaitwa nini kwa bladder. Because hiyo leech ukivuta inavutika. Ukiingia huko ndani utapata bladder na nini. Na nyoka zilikuwa mob hiyo mtaka sijui. But God alitusaidia yani. So unakaa na railway tunatembea na Reru mpaka chini KCC.
Yes.
Tunangoja zile mascrap zile zimetupwa za maziwa, tunanyonya hizo maziwa, tunatembea chini mpaka Dandora, mpaka Molem, place inaitwa Molem. Uko.
Sasa
ni roaming.
Huu ni uchokosh wa kia
kabisa, na ni roaming na fare. Unajaribu kuget madush nini kuhunt masunguch and everything. So growing up was amazing. And then when we came to Nairobi school, it shaped my character and my outlook of life. And where I met other people and where also I came into contact with great men who some of them would build great friendships as we went along. But bado book haikuwa inanifurahisha sana. Kuna kitu haikuwa bado inanishika vizuri. So nikatoka hapo hivyo tu high school na niliget nikatoka nayo. Nikaenda nayo.
Uliget nini bala? Uliget nini ba?
Niko na nini hapa kwa nyumba yangu kubwa?
Dogi.
Mimi na wewe one WhatsApp.
So when you brought the results, D ndio hii yako strong. Dondori donkey. Akaifungua. Now assume ni yeye.
Sasa budangu, yupo na kuuzwa nyingine young man. So kitu jeni bishop nafikiri tu alianza tu kuomba. Yaani aliambia tu Mungu tu yani. Ukumbuke. But one of the things that budangu amenibamba nao sana. Ni yo niamini. Yaani yo niamini mpaka saa zingine mimi sijiamini vile naniamini. Mpaka najiulizanga huyu jamaa ni mimi anaongea about ama mtu mwingine. My dad is 100% convinced that I'm close to a genius. And he says since I was a kid, I did everything fast, nicely, precisely. So he made sure that he wanted to take me to the best schools, give me the best opportunities and try as much as possible that everything that I'm doing, I'm on point. Boss nilianza kusoma vitabu nikiwa mdogo sana. End to end. George Orwell, Animal Farm nilisoma nikiwa I think class 2 ama class 3. Kuandika unanigena maliza naishia unamaliza naishia. But I thank God
your dad is your biggest inspiration.
My dad and mom, unajua madhangu ni hustler. Madhangu used to be an apprentice nurse. But when she came to live with my dad in Nairobi, she started making clothes. Hizi vitenge na kila kitu. Na hizo vitenge zimetusomesha, zimetupeleka everywhere in the world mpaka sai.
Bado anafanya vitenge.
Madhangu wanataka kitu vibaya sana. Na hizo tu hizo ana mashop, anashona nguo, macherehani, embroidery. Mimi nimegrow up na machine. Naweza kushonea kitu yote. Ile mguu
ile kukanyaga.
Kwanza unaipatia morale kama umeenda nayo.
Ile asinga.
Basa alikuwa na shop Jerry Market. So tulikuwa na Jerry. Alafu sasa ilikuwa every Saturday lazima muingie shop.
One thing you want to tell your dad that you've never
Thank you so much, Dad, for all the opportunities you gave me. The ones I took, and I also want to thank you for the ones that I never took. I don't take it for granted. Now, in these years, as I live my life, I remember and I understand that many things that you told me were not just because you're trying to be hard, was because you could see ahead of where I'm going to. You know, they say something. They say that by the time you realize that your dad was right, you have a child who thinks you're wrong.
That's powerful. By the time
you realize that what your parents told you was right, was true. You have a child who thinks what you're telling them is wrong.
Amazing. I told you it was going to be deep. It's going to be big. This is Thomas Kwaka, aka Big Ted. Now when we come back na tuongee story ya industry sasa. If there's someone who understands Kenyan industry mali ilianza na mali inaenda, anaitagwa Mr. Big Ted. And you'll know why he was called Mr. Big Ted. We'll be right back after the break. You can do that.
In your Jesse. We'll be right back after the break.
After the break. Okay. Sasa tukunywe ile juice. Welcome back to Churchill Show. What an amazing guest we have today, the big one, Thomas Kwaka, Big Ted, the entertainment guru, and now working for the presidency, and we'll get there in a short while. Sasa, karibu sana, we are back.
Asante sana.
Ajua hata wewe ndio ungekuna, you know the way you introduce the show.
Do you remember how I came to work at Churchill? Number one, I was just called by Bob Nyanja one day. Kaniambia, I wanted to just to voice something. Akanita kwa studio ingine pale hapo nyuma ya uchumi hapo Ngong Road. Akaniambia hebu just voice. So I just remember I just went through it, and then I was not in the, I'd not seen the, I didn't go into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Nobody can be able to kuja and do the show. And then one of the things, I don't know if it is the same for you, but because the show that time didn't have a definitive character, like you just felt free to just do what you wanted to do, and you're just creating, you know. Those are amazing moments, and many times I look behind and I'm actually like, wow, we actually made history without knowing we're making history.
Precisely.
You know,
that's how it works. By the way, Big Ted was a guy introducing the show. And now, ladies and gentlemen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Okay, kuna saza madoido. Sasa zingine kuna sema hapo live from Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah.
Please put your hands together for Churchill Show.
Entertainment. So ulijipataje sasa MC, DJ, nini?
So
your storytelling.
na
ndio hii ndio umetoka nayo shule.
We've started, we're in school, tumepanga hizi variety show. In Buru, we are planning Miss Buruburu, Miss this, Miss that. Mara nikajipata writing a magazine in Buruburu called Buruburu Times, where we're getting people. I think the idea was we were running ahead of our time.
Yeah.
Nobody that time did anything like that. And then I was heavily involved in church. And Churchill, you'll never remember where we first met. But it was in church. It was in a play in Bahati.
Baha.
Yeah. And many times people don't understand that God sometimes puts you in a place. You can actually be in a great place, but if you don't realize the greatness of the place that you're in, you'll never be able to experience it. There are people who work with great people, they'll never be great. There are people who are born into greatness, they'll never be great. There are people who have greatness thrown at them, and they'll never be great. One of the things I came to realize is I have to be aware of the moment I'm living in. If your mind is about greatness, it's not about what you're getting at that time. It's about value. And that's something which we try and explain to the young people right now. I understand but it's money or value. And people are chasing money, not value. You see, money is something I can get somebody who's better than you tomorrow. But value, as long as you bring value to the table, nobody can match value. That time, nobody is called an event manager. Nobody is called there was only one promoter in Kenya. Who's my godfather, DS Joroge. The only guy was DS. Everybody else was other things. I remember I would go to KICC because that's where the events would be held. So I go to KICC, I wait for him to come. So when he comes, I just tell him, hey, Mzee, how are you doing? Me, I'm so and so, I'm interested in this thing. Can I help you carry speakers? Now, my plan, ni niingie kwa ile show sare, nione hizi setup kubwa zinawekwa maspika, mataa, and everything, and that is how I learned. Not by getting paid. I learned the value that I have right now by giving myself to people who could help me. I grew into the next thing. So as we started, I would plan small things in mtaani, a variety show, bodybuilding competition.
Were you the life of the party everywhere?
Of course.
Everywhere you were. From shule
and
mpaka home.
Hata sahi paliniko sahi. I walk into any place, I can decide the atmosphere, how it will be. Na sikupenda kwangu, by the way. I would meet people who tell me, Ted, I want to bring in this artist. I used to earn 6,000 shillings at Miss Kenya. 6,000 shillings na rent ya ile hao nilikuwa naishi South B ilikuwa 1,600. Na hiyo hao nilikuwa naishi ni ya mwenye Miss Kenya. In short, nilikuwa na do job sari. But it taught me one thing. As long as I have a roof over my head, I can hustle the rest. So I started hustling. So I became a DJ. So I'd go play. I earned 2,000 shillings.
Nimekuwa na LP hapa.
My LP zimejaa kwa nyumba. I have about 7,000 records.
You used to play with the records?
You play with records. With vinyl. Yes. Yes. This is vinyl. And what they have done is that they have pressed the music inside here in 8 codes. And it translates, the machine is able to translate that into now what you hear. And it's a craft which is coming back. I hope when I build my farmhouse, I'll be able to have this room with just all this stuff. And as you saw in my house, I have a lot of paraphernalia. I have a lot of antiques.
You are a vintage person.
I love antiques. So I'm at Miss Kenya. I see an ad in the paper. And they say we're opening this new station and we want people to come and work here. Now, I've not been to any media school. I've not been to KMC, which was the only school.
Now, that's
so
radio.
What do I do? Yes, what do I do? I just put together a letter. I dropped it to those guys. Said, okay, we'll call you for an interview. They tell us there's a new building called Lion Place.
Yes.
Come to Lion Place. And we go there, it's just an empty hall. They're trying to build some things there. So I sit, and there's this guy with specs, there's a Kamzungu guy there. So they tell me, okay, tell us about yourself. Now, I don't have a CV, but I had a lot of photographs. So I showed up and told them, this is who I am. This event was at Impala. This event was at that show. This event was here. that I talked, I think, for 1 hour. They told me, listen, we like you, but we'll call you.
That was Patrick Kwaku.
That was Patrick Kwaku. And a guy called Vaughan. Vaughan.
Okay.
Vaughan was the original, not John Wilkins. Vaughan was there first. Vaughan had an obsession with the Afro-ness of everything. So he would tell us later on to throw in some local stuff. Let guys understand.
Did they call you later?
Yes, so they called me. Say, come, want to talk to you. So I come to that place, they're finished building. They say, okay, listen, we like you. And we want to offer you a job. So they ask me the trick question, how much do you want to be paid? I go like, my goodness. Pale even alipwa 1,600. If I double, siniko bele, because now at least I have 12, nini. So I tell them, I said, let me say 20. So I told him 20. 20,000. So they look at me, wakasema wacha wasaidiki kijama kia mtaa. So they told me, we'll give you 60,000. Damu kiujia mimi najua hao watu. Sasa ile utaki mtu, unataka kuangusha mtu kwa mtihani, amepass, unamfanya afanye kitu kingine wrong ndio useme si unaona ni pesa. Mimi nikamwambia hapana. If I accept this money, these guys are tricking me.
This is a tricky question.
They want me to say yes, and then they say he asks for more money, they refuse.
Na wewe ni mtoto wa pastor.
Nikamwambia haya fanya hivi. I'll take 60 lakini munige jobs zingine. I'll do your MC. I'll do your planning. I'll do your events. If you want me to go to other functions, nika job kama 500.
Ukajiekea.
Road shows, if you want to go where, I will do everything. But then I discover later on, kumbe kila mtu mwingine alikuwa ametisha chapa moja kunishinda. But it's about exposure. I didn't know. But for me, it was joyful to work on radio. And I worked there for about 5 years, doing various programs with Maina and with Caroline Mutoko, the legend, with a guy called Mr. Flavor who went to Tanzania, with Nikki and everything. And I learned so much from radio. Anyway, so I'm working case and I've done the 5 years, the whole route. And another opportunity comes calling. There's this Mzungu guy who had gone to do some work for Kiss and he was there. And he tells me, I like what you're doing. Are you an event manager? I said, yes. So he tells me, I want you to come and work for me. I have a big club in Mombasa, but also I have this drink. As he was about to call me for this job, because he told me we'll start next month.
And which club is this?
Mamba International.
Yes.
And he was the owner of Red Bull energy drink. So I worked for Red Bull for another 5 years. So on the side, all this time, I was managing any artist you can think about. Any artist. Any name you will say.
Chameleon.
I brought in Jose Chameleon. I brought in Baby Cool. Red Sun. I put it together, that Red Sun Chameleon combination. That time we were doing some work with Kala Mashaka. We took them a tour all over Kenya.
I saw you with
Majize, Gidigidi, Majimaji. And I remember Churchill, one of my first experiences. And that taught me a lot of things. When you go to a place, you have to understand what's the culture where you're going to. Churchill, I go to Mombasa and I planned this big show. I brought in DJ Pinye, Monali Shah. Monali used to work for Coca-Cola. She works for Coca-Cola, my excellent friend. And DJ John. Big event, Red Sun. And Nairobi tumezoea shows naanza saa 12.
Yes. In the evening?
In the evening.
Yes.
People are starting to come into the place. So, tukangojea saa 12, saa 1, saa 2, saa 3. I said, my God, kazi yangu imeisha. Na ule mzungu alikuwa mkali. I said, my work is, this guy will kill me. We spent all this money, we've flown people in. Nobody is coming to the show. I went to my hotel room. Nikafunga, nikasema, Mr. Statoka nje.
Na ma-artist umeleta wote?
Watu wameja, all the artists are there.
Wamejaza rooms?
Wamekula hapo 5-star hotel, all inclusive. So,
wewe unaenda nyumbani.
At midnight, 11 o'clock, 11:30, my phone rings. It's a mzungu. I was afraid. Tells me, Ted, what is wrong with you? Are you crazy? Are you mad? Nikasema tu, I'm sorry, sir. Sir, you know, me, I thought people, no, you're not it, no way. This is wrong, totally wrong. Nikasema tu haki ya Mungu, mimi nimevutwa kazi, let me just go back to Nairobi. Even if I walk to Nairobi, it is okay.
Second job.
His second statement. Nilikuwa nishavaa nguo. He told me, Ted, these guys will break my club. Ted, this is too much, call the police. There were over 10,000 people inside that club.
Wamekuja.
Your club ilikuwa imejaa.
No, have you ever done an event and it flopped?
Man, yes. Nabuki, have you done an event mpaka you hear a car passing, unasema angalau mtu mmoja anakuja, alafu inakuja inapita hapa, inapita inaenda chini huko.
Which event?
Let me tell you.
What happened?
This is about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Machakos. Wakamba na waogopa. Mimi naogopa Wakamba.
What happened?
Churchill, if you want to know your event imeoga, hata mlevi hakuji by mistake aingie kwa event yako, aingie huko aanze kusumbua. Yani even a drunkard.
So ni street bash.
Street bash.
Machakos.
Tumefunga stage huko kubwa, tumefunga Churchill. Ilijaa hewa. But my first ever show was Mighty Culture, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
I met this guy from Jamaica. He told me he's doing a whole circuit of Africa, and since the guys are here, let's just do a show in Kenya and Uganda. And he told me, you don't have to pay anything. It's already paid for. Just try and make it work. And it was Nyayo Stadium. I remember, I have never seen so many people jump the fence. Watu, ilikuwa ni kama nzige, ni kama mchwa.
Yes.
People just scaling the fence, continue, and it's many people, you can't stop. Man, I've seen, there are things I've seen. I've seen artists refuse to perform. I've seen a guy coming, says he won't perform. I mean, I have to be honest and tell you, I was involved with the Koffi Olomide show. And we are here planning for him to go for an interview, and the guy kicks somebody, and everything breaks loose.
You have to tell me about your story of Koffi Olomide, because my goodness.
And a lady called Emily C.
Emily C. No, you are Koffi kwanza na
mlikuwa. Anajua kuimba bana. Alikuja kwa stage intercom.
Goja. Yeah. You have to tell me. Okay, we'll be right back with a big interview with the big man, Big Ted. Don't go. Don't go. We're back. Welcome back with the big man himself, the big interview, Big Ted, Thomas Kwaka. So, Koffi Olomide.
It wasn't the first time Koffi was coming to Kenya.
Yeah.
And the other times also I'd been involved. I've done a show with Koffi at Safari Park.
Yeah.
So remember, because I was DS Njoroge's protege,
Yeah.
any show he did in Kenya, I was there. Any show, I had to be there.
Yeah.
So mimi napatiwa kazi, naambiwa kuna msanii anakuja, do this. So Koffi comes to Kenya, and then we are preparing to for the show. We're doing the logistics.
You may set up
Kila kitu. And we're doing the interview just down the road. Then we just told there are like 10 cars zimeingia hapo za polisi. So we say, what? Get in the car, drive there. Getting there, you're getting cars leaving. The band has been left there. So by the time you get the band people and everything, the guy is heading towards the airport. He gets to the airport, so we are following. When we just got even to the checkpoint, where they have that new checkpoint, we just told, mnaenda wapi nyinyi? No media, no nothing.
na tickets.
Hiyo imeenda hivyo.
Hasara galo.
You know, events is actually a risk, and it's a very, very big risk that many people don't appreciate what an event manager has put together.
Yeah.
Sometimes we put in our money, we put in everything that we have to try and just get this show going. And sometimes it happens both ways, you know. And as my godfather DS taught me, he said, for you to do a show, you either have to have two things. One, very strong shock absorbers.
Yes.
Or two, a very fast car. Because mbio, utakimbia.
Mbio utakimbia.
Mbio utakimbia.
Tell me about this lady, because I need to hear about your money issues.
This lady comes from Australia.
Yes.
She's a very big singer. She sends newspaper cuttings, the way she sang in places and what.
Yeah. Packed.
Totally.
Yeah.
Tukaingia Intercon, akasema ataifanyia show Intercon.
Yes.
Next day, the headlines were Emily C can't sing. Boss alienda kuimba.
Watu wakaingia.
Watu kidogo. But now you see the problem, hata kukia watu wawili. lazima uimbie watu wawili, upende usipende. Na uimbe vizuri. We understood that when people do shows, kuna wale are studio artists, they're recording artists.
Yes.
One other recording artist was a very great friend of mine, the late Cool James, mtoto wa Dando. Cool James was a very clever guy. He came to Kenya. He came, that time I was working for Miss Kenya, and we became friends and everything. So I became his manager. So Cool James said, we do a show here. Because he had like 3 albums. Pengia Carnival. Problem ni moja. Cool James alikuwa amepiga drink. The guy got on stage, he couldn't sing. And Carnival is packed. Couldn't sing. Guess who sang?
Who?
Yours truly.
You sang?
I sang the whole album.
Watu washachukua pesa.
Aibu ile nilikuwa nayo. Mimi kitu entertainment ishanionyesha.
Tell me about these money issues. What happened?
Anytime you spend your money, you either get a profit or a loss. But because ours is such a young industry, we are getting a lot of losses. Because you put in your cash and you don't get it, you put it in your cash, you don't get it. And the corporate world has not yet fully appreciated the roles that people like me and you are playing. In fact, I'd want to say that even in government, for a very long time, there was no particular area that you could actually say an entertainer is employed by a county government or a government, and they go into what group. They can't be in a high group because it's grouped.
Yes.
So one of the things that we have to do is professionalize this industry. Both entertainment, the creative sector, must be professionalized so that when you stand with other people who are in different fields, we actually stand there as professionals. I have had my fair share of losing money, both in business, because for the longest time I ran a company, an events company, and I've lost a lot of money. But for me, it's always been the passion. And many of the people I know who do events, it's more about the passion and not the money. Just the thought that people came, consumed whatever we brought out to them, and they were happy. For us, that's enough. We must learn how to reinvent ourselves. Nabuki, you started off doing comedy on someone else's show. You went on to your show. Now you have this thing which is online. It's no longer the physical show. That's reinvention. And one of the things that many guys are unable to do is to reinvent themselves. And immediately you can't reinvent yourself. You get stuck when you are a star. I mean, I walk around with very many artists, and when other guys find them, they can't tell who these guys are. And I see it hurts these artists, but because they didn't reinvent themselves. Number 2, make hay while the sun shines. While you're still at the top, invest. Balance out your portfolio. Look for things, look for mentors, and that's something which guys do not want to do. You must look for a mentor, and you must understand that your mentor is like your teacher. His work is to reprieve you, reproach you, and your work is also to praise you. So when I tell you as your mentor that what you're doing is wrong, you shouldn't get annoyed because I'm telling you to help you. So I've lost my money that way. The other way I lost my money was I started a college. And my idea was because I did not have, everywhere I'd go, people would ask me, what certification do you have for this thing that you do? And I didn't have. So I invested heavily in a school. Heavily. I actually borrowed a lot of money. Number 3, have a strategy. And your strategy must be convinced and advised by people who are there before. If I knew, I would have sat down with people who are running colleges and understood how long does it take for you to break even. 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years. And then I would have known. And of course, the other part I've lost money is on just buying things that I don't need.
What? Like what?
I love clothes. I love shoes. I have a big collection of shoes.
How many shoes?
I have a lot of shoes.
Size number?
It's 12 and a half.
12 and a half.
Yeah. Nitakupatia watu inakuwa shida. In fact, I hope you remember I used to be very big. I used to be 168 kilograms.
That's the other loss I was going to talk about.
Yes.
Your weight loss.
I was 168 kgs at my highest, 168.
Big take.
And even when I lost weight, I couldn't give guys the clothes.
Now you're no longer big T.
Nani alikuambia?
Sasa utaitwaje because
Who told you?
wewe hata ulikuwa unafungwa diaper ama ulikuwa unavalishwa leso?
Hii ni tandarua. Hebu vaa.
Seriously? Naweza tosha kwa mguu moja.
Wacha nikupe ingine. Wapi ile jacket yangu?
Come fit here. Njoo hapa. Njoo. Jiingize hapa. That's how serious it is, my brother. I think someone else can fit here. Tusaidie na jacket.
Wacha niwapatie.
Mhudumu. Yeah, what's up? And now, ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine this was one person? Rudisha your wallet.
As part of me reinventing myself and my life, I decided that there's some things I want to do. Things that I have been unable to do or things that I felt uncomfortable about. I'm starting swimming lessons, by the way, on Monday, next week.
Yeah.
About 8 years ago, I started writing a blog. And my blog is team, like a football team, d2d.wordpress.
Yeah.
For the last 8 years, I've written a blog every morning
I follow
about
it.
life
Very nice.
and about God and spirituality. But this came because I said I want to change and improve the quality of my spiritual life, my physical life, my mental life. I believe God predestined me to work for the President of the Republic of Kenya.
And how's that?
It's one of the most amazing things in my life. Number one, being able to sit down and in a very small way change people's lives, influence people's lives, and just be able to serve the King is amazing. You get to see the world from a very different perspective. You get to see Kenya from a perspective of hope. And it's very hard for Kenyans to understand the president and the presidency. And I see and I read in mtandao wa kijamii guys talking about the president, about the government and everything. And yes, I have to admit some things probably which happen in government. And who is government? Government is everyone. Government is each and every Kenyan.
Yeah.
You can't complain about corruption and you yourself are very busy being corrupt. So we are government. All of us are government. The governance structure has people like me in it. And I've never sat in any meeting that has thought about how to deprive Kenyans of their best that Kenya can give. Any meeting I have gone for has been to say, how can we help this group of people? How can we help those guys? We go to a place, the president says, I want to see the difference. In fact, this guy has so much interest of Kenyans at heart. Because we go for a function, he does not ask the usual questions. He doesn't want PR. He's not there for you to show him this. He asks, okay, but what is behind this wall? So he says, take me behind this wall. I want to see what's there. So if you go and paint the wall on this side, he'll show up at the back. And that's why he shows up at the most strangest places. You'll see him walking on the road. You'll see him driving a Pro Box in the night. You'll see him going to inspect an event. You'll see him talking to young people. You'll see him doing anything. That's just who he is.
He's an easy guy.
Guys, this guy, and history will actually prove me right, has actually redefined presidency.
And please, pass our salams.
Yes, most definitely. But you can do it right now. He'll watch.
Watch Churchill Show.
Honor Churchill.
Honor Churchill. Now, there's Big Ted and there's Big Kev. Tell me about the story of Big Kev as we finish.
So we've left high school and we've just, we're coming out into the world. As I told you, I was emceeing here, singing, and I was actually one of the first rappers. And shout out right now to Ted Josiah, who made me my first track in his bedroom. We're rapping,
That was your rap,
and Keva was doing something called rockapella.
Yeah.
So then we couldn't afford instruments and all the tracks. And right now it's a privilege. All the artists have these million studios.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. Kevin came up with this thing called rockapella. So they had a cappella, so like woo, and then they would rap over the tracks. This is Cookie. Sit, boy. Sit here. Sit. Sit. We were together for 25 years with Kevin.
Yeah.
Just as friends, as housemates, as best of pals, as brothers. And everywhere he was, I was. Everywhere I was, he was. When I was at KISS, he was at Capitol doing the same show around the same time. We did a lot of things. We did Operation Jazalori to raise funds for this place in Katunzweni.
Yeah.
That time I think you're in the Machakos. We helped you guys with food. Kevin for me was that case that I had prayed and believed that God was actually going to heal him. It was one of the first times that my heart broke into so many pieces because I was 100% sure. But one of the things that happened after that is I learned to yield to God's perfect will. And Dambuki, God's perfect will may not necessarily be my will or my plan. God's perfect will rests in him. I've had to let myself understand and let myself be in that place.
There's something you had started for men.
Yes.
To open up. I saw you do something at Nairobi Cinema.
Yes. When men don't have vision, then people perish. God has given a specific responsibility to the man. And his responsibility is that we are meant to lead people towards spirituality, prosperity, and life. That is the predestined responsibility of a man. And that's why the man is built differently. His physique and the things that I expected of him, I understand and I appreciate. And I salute the women who are men. Women who are playing double duty. I salute you 100%. But I'm speaking about the predisposition of man in our element, whereby we as men are meant to have some responsibilities. If you kill a man, then you kill the whole community and the whole society. I have come to realize that men don't have spaces where we can talk. So something is messing me up. Churchill, it's very hard for me to come and tell you, Churchill, maze naumia, nani. Immediately a man cries, we take it as a sign of weakness. Ukiana shida huyo. But there's only 1 year.
1 year?
1 year. And it's 97 kilograms. So Churchill, men are very, very key in society. And we are also raising a generation of very, very weak men. Now, Churchill, crying doesn't make you less of a man. Opening up doesn't make you less of a man. Being able to go to people around you and telling them what you're going through doesn't make you less of a man. Men are going through so much struggle in this country. We started a group called Muscle Men's Fellowship. And Muscle Men's Fellowship is a fellowship that brings together men from all walks of life. And we have two things. We love God and we love life.
You know, after this, so many people, so many men will want to get in touch with you.
Muscle Men's Fellowship. Go to Facebook, Muscle Men's Fellowship, and just Google it out and check it out. Or just go on my page on Instagram at Team D2D. Team D, ile ulipata shule?
Team sikupata, nilipita bana. Team
Ulipitia?
D, nilipita. Team D?
2D.
2D, all right? That's all. That's all, man. Amazing story. That's awesome. It's very deep. It's so inspiring listening to you. Finally,
Finally, is that God has the power and capability to remove you from where you are to take you to where he wants you to go to. You see, very many people are giving up right now. You see, God holds time, which means that God is time, which means God can give you time to do everything that you want to do. People don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give in. Right now, during this COVID period, a lot of guys are talking to me, guys want to go commit suicide. Other guys want to just give up on everything. Listen, don't give up. The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. From the big man himself, Big Ted, the best is yet to come. Thank you so much for watching Churchill Show.
Naitwa Cookie.
Tunamaliza.
If ever nitokeleze one day, ninge kama hata kani ama tunnel, nipige hivi nipate budangu huko. Na kuambia huyo si budangu. Nampiga kwanza kofi, huyo si budangu. Huyo ni mtu mwingine anajaribu kuni. Sijaona budangu akipiga sherehe.
Hajaisherekea.
Hajawahi. In fact, nishaona budangu akidance mara 2 peke yake.
Wapi?
Na hiyo moja ilikuwa church cause ni bishop na lidance tu hii style tu moja tata. Hiyo katosha. Na ingine tu kwa harusi. But sijaimwona. Ati ametoa ma style.